village was famed for its enchanting beauty and the warmth of its people, but it was also known for a legend that spoke of a mystical lantern, said to have the power to grant one wish to someone with a pure heart. The lantern, known as the Lantern of Leora, had been lost for centuries, and many had tried to find it without success. The legend said that the lantern was hidden away in the deepest part of the forest, and only someone who truly needed it and had a heart full of kindness would be able to find it. In this village lived a brave and kind-hearted girl named Aisling. Aisling was known for her generosity and her determination to help others. She spent her days caring for the village animals, tending to the sick, and helping her neighbors in any way she could. Despite her efforts, the village had recently faced a series of hardships. Crops had failed, the river had run dry, and a strange illness had plagued the villagers. One evening, as Aisling sat by a flickering fire in her small cottage, she overheard an old story about the Lantern of Leora and its magical powers. Her heart ached for her village, and she felt a deep desire to restore its prosperity. Determined to help, Aisling decided to embark on a quest to find the lantern and bring hope back to her people. With a small bundle of supplies and a heart full of hope, Aisling set out into the Emerald Forest. The forest was known for its magical creatures and hidden wonders, but it was also filled with challenges. Her first trial was a dense fog that rolled in, making it difficult to see. Aisling carefully followed the soft glow of fireflies that seemed to guide her path through the mist. As she ventured deeper, she encountered a wise old deer named Eldon standing by a large, ancient tree. Eldon's eyes glowed with a gentle light, and he spoke in a deep, soothing voice. To proceed, you must solve the riddle of the forest. What can travel around the world while staying in a corner? Aisling thought for a moment and answered, a stamp. Eldon nodded in approval, and the way forward was revealed. Continuing her journey, Aisling arrived at a sparkling river that flowed with a magical, shimmering water. A delicate bridge made of woven vines stretched across the river, but it was guarded by a curious sprite named Pippa who fluttered above the water. Pippa smiled mischievously and said, to cross, you must share a story that brings joy and hope. Aisling began to tell Pippa a tale of how the villagers had once come together to rebuild a broken bridge, using their combined skills and strength to overcome adversity. The story was filled with hope and unity, and Pippa was so moved that she allowed Aisling to cross the bridge. As Aisling reached the other side, she followed the path illuminated by the light of the moon. The path led her to a hidden grove where the air was filled with the sweet fragrance of blooming night flowers. In the center of the grove was a large, ancient stone covered in glowing runes. Aisling approached the stone, and a soft voice spoke from within. You have shown great bravery and kindness on your journey, the voice said. The Lantern of Leora lies beyond the enchanted mist. Only one with a pure heart can unveil its light. Aisling's heart raced as she followed the directions given by the voice. She passed through a veil of shimmering mist and found herself in a serene glade bathed in moonlight. At the center of the glade was an ornate pedestal upon which rested the Lantern of Leora. The lantern was beautifully crafted, adorned with intricate designs and glowing softly with an inner light. As Aisling approached the lantern, she held her hands over her heart and spoke aloud, I wish for my village to be restored, for the crops to grow again, the river to flow, and for the illness to be cured. I wish for the happiness and well-being of all those who live there. The Lantern of Leora began to glow brightly, and its light spread across the forest and beyond. The magic of the lantern flowed into the land, revitalizing the crops, replenishing the river, and healing the sick. The village of Leora was transformed, and the people rejoiced as their hardships were lifted and their lives returned to prosperity. Aisling returned to her village as a heroine, and her journey became a cherished tale of hope and courage. The Lantern of Leora was placed in the village square, where it continued to shine as a symbol of the magic that exists in every selfless heart. The village of Leora flourished under the light of the lantern, and Aisling's story inspired others to embrace kindness and bravery in their own lives. The legacy of the Lantern of Leora lived on, a reminder of the power of hope and the strength of a pure heart. Once upon a time, in a realm where magic danced on the edge of reality, there was a kingdom known as Luminera, bathed in the gentle glow of moonlight. This kingdom was unique, as its land was always illuminated by the soft, silvery light of the moon, even during the day. The moonlight made the flora and fauna glow with a soft, ethereal light, creating a breathtaking landscape of shimmering beauty. At the heart of Luminera stood the Moon Palace, a magnificent castle built from moonstone that sparkled like a constellation. The palace was ruled by Queen Seraphina, a wise and benevolent leader who had the power to harness the moon's magic for the good of her people. Her most cherished possession was a moon crystal, a radiant gem that amplified her magical abilities and kept the kingdom in harmony. Despite the kingdom's beauty and tranquility, there was one challenge that loomed over Luminera. The moonlight, though constant, was beginning to dim, causing concern among the inhabitants. The once bright landscapes were growing shadowed, and the magic that had always been vibrant seemed to be fading. Queen Seraphina knew that something was wrong but could not discover the source of the problem. One evening, as the queen gazed out from her moonlit balcony, a soft, mysterious voice spoke to her. "Seek the moonflower in the forbidden forest, and the truth shall be revealed." Intrigued and determined to save her kingdom, Queen Seraphina decided to embark on a quest to find this moonflower. She prepared a small satchel with essentials, including her moon crystal, and set off under the light of the full moon. The Forbidden Forest was a place of great enchantment and mystery. It was said to be filled with magical creatures and hidden secrets. As Queen Seraphina ventured deeper into the forest, she encountered various wonders and challenges. The first was the Enchanted River, a stream with water as clear as crystal but with currents that could sweep anyone off course. The queen approached the river with care. She used her moon crystal to cast a protective spell that allowed her to safely navigate across. As she crossed, she noticed that the water sparkled with a pale light, guiding her way. Further into the forest, she reached the Whispering Glade, where the trees spoke in hushed tones, sharing ancient wisdom. The whispers were fragmented and confusing, but Seraphina listened closely. She realized that the whispers spoke of a hidden path leading to the moonflower but required a test of purity and intention to reveal it. Determined, Queen Seraphina knelt and closed her eyes, focusing on her love for her kingdom and her desire to restore its magic. The forest seemed to acknowledge her sincerity, and the path to the moonflower began to glow softly, revealing itself through the dense foliage. At last, Seraphina arrived at a clearing bathed in the purest moonlight she had ever seen. In the center of the clearing stood the moonflower, a magnificent blossom with petals that shimmered like liquid silver. It was unlike anything she had ever seen, radiating a gentle, soothing light. As she approached, the moonflower spoke in a melodious voice. "I am the moonflower, guardian of the moon's magic. The dimming of the moonlight is a sign that the balance of magic in the realm has been disturbed. To restore the balance, you must find the Moonshadow, a creature who has taken the essence of moonlight for itself." The moonflower's petals opened to reveal a map etched in silver light, showing the location of the Moonshadow's lair. Queen Seraphina thanked the moonflower and followed the map, her heart filled with hope and determination. The journey led her to a hidden cave, where the Moonshadow, a creature of darkness and deceit, had taken refuge. It was a shadowy figure, its form shifting like smoke. The Moonshadow had been siphoning the moon's light to increase its own power, causing the kingdom's magic to wane. Queen Seraphina confronted the Moonshadow with courage. She held up her moon crystal, channeling the moon's energy into a brilliant beam of light. "You must return the stolen moonlight to restore the balance," she declared. The Moonshadow, though powerful, was overwhelmed by the purity of the moon crystal's light. The creature was forced to release the captured moonlight, which flowed back into the kingdom's skies. The balance of magic was slowly restored, and the moonlight grew bright and steady once more. With the Moonshadow defeated and the magic of Luminera restored, Queen Seraphina returned to her palace. The kingdom celebrated her bravery and the return of their beloved moonlight. The moon crystal, now even more radiant, was placed in its rightful place, ensuring the continued harmony and prosperity of Luminera. The tale of Queen Seraphina's quest became a cherished legend in Luminera, a story passed down through generations as a reminder of the power of courage, purity of heart, and the importance of protecting the delicate balance of magic. And so, under the eternal moonlight, the kingdom of Luminera thrived in peace and beauty, forever illuminated by the soft, enchanting glow that had once again graced their land. The end. Once upon a time, in a kingdom where lush meadows met towering mountains, there lived a wise and gentle dragon named Eldrick. Eldrick was the last of his kind, a magnificent creature with shimmering emerald scales and eyes that sparkled like stars. He resided in a hidden cave deep within the mystic mountains, guarding a secret that had been passed down through generations of dragons. This secret was the Golden Flame, a mystical fire that could bring life to barren lands and heal the sick. For years, Eldrick had used the flame sparingly, only in times of great need, for it was said to be the source of all dragon magic. In a nearby village, nestled at the base of the mountains, lived a kind-hearted young woman named Elowen. The village had been suffering from a terrible drought that had withered their crops and left them in despair. Elowen, though only a humble farmer, had a heart full of hope and a belief that the dragon's magic could save her people. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the sky turned a deep shade of indigo, Elowen set out on a quest to find Eldrick and seek his help. Armed with a small satchel of provisions in her unwavering determination, she ventured into the mystic mountains, guided by the faint glow of moonlight. The journey was treacherous, with steep cliffs and dense forests, but Elowen pressed on. As she climbed higher, she noticed a soft, golden light emanating from a hidden crevice in the mountain. With cautious excitement, she followed the light and discovered Eldrick's cave. Eldrick, with his majestic wings folded and his long tail coiled comfortably, was resting near a pool of water that reflected the golden flame. Elowen took a deep breath and stepped into the cave. Eldrick looked up with his wise, gentle eyes and regarded her with curiosity. "Greetings, noble dragon," Elowen said, her voice steady despite her nerves. "I am Elowen from the village below. Our land is suffering from a terrible drought, and I've come to seek the golden flame to save my people." Eldrick's eyes softened with compassion. "Brave Elowen, why do you believe that the golden flame can help you?" Elowen replied, "I have heard tales of its power and how it can bring life and healing. I believe it is our only hope." Eldrick studied Elowen closely, sensing the sincerity in her voice and the purity of her heart. After a moment of reflection, he spoke. "The golden flame is indeed powerful, but it must be used wisely. If you truly wish to use its magic, you must first prove your worthiness by showing your selflessness and courage." Eldrick then presented Elowen with a task. Deep within the forest lies a withered tree, a remnant of the once great forest that was destroyed by the drought. You must restore it to its former glory, not with the golden flame, but with the strength of your spirit and compassion. Only then will you be worthy of the flame. Determined to prove her worth, Elowen set out to find the withered tree. It was a gnarled and barren trunk, standing alone in a desolate clearing. Elowen knew that the task would be challenging, but she had hope in her heart. She worked tirelessly, tending to the soil, watering the tree with the small amount of water she had, and singing softly to it. Each day, she returned to the tree, her actions fueled by a deep sense of love for her village and a belief in the magic of renewal. As days passed, the tree began to respond. Small buds appeared on its branches, and soon, vibrant green leaves unfurled. The once withered tree began to blossom with beautiful flowers and fruits, a symbol of the healing and transformation that was taking place. When Eldrick saw the transformed tree, he was deeply moved. "Elowen, you have shown great selflessness and determination. You have restored the tree with the strength of your heart and the care of your spirit. You are truly worthy of the golden flame." With a wave of his majestic tail, Eldrick summoned the golden flame. The mystical fire rose from the pool, shimmering with golden hues, and enveloped Elowen in a warm, radiant glow. He handed her a small vial containing the flame. "Take this to your village," Eldrick said, "and let its magic heal your land." Elowen thanked Eldrick and carefully carried the vial down the mountain. When she arrived at the village, she released the golden flame over the dry fields. The flame spread across the land, turning the barren soil into lush, fertile ground. The rivers flowed once more, and the crops grew abundantly. The village celebrated their newfound prosperity with joy and gratitude. Eloan was hailed as a hero, but she knew that it was not just the magic of the golden flame but the strength of the villagers' spirit and unity that had made the difference. And so, the village thrived, and the legend of Eloan and the Last Dragon became a cherished tale, a reminder that true magic lies in the courage to care for others and the power of hope. Eldrick continued to watch over the Mystic Mountains, knowing that his magic had found a worthy guardian. The land was healed, and the village lived in harmony and abundance, forever touched by the legacy of the Golden Flame. Once upon a time, in a land where the sky touched the earth and the stars were as close as the morning dew, there was a small village known for its incredible beauty. This village was famous not for its grand structures or riches, but for its breathtaking night skies, which seemed to be painted by an artist's brush. The artist was a humble young girl named Arya. Arya was no ordinary painter, she was the star painter, and each night, she would climb to the top of the tallest hill with her magical paintbrush and a pot of shimmering stardust. With each stroke, she transformed the dark canvas of the night into a mesmerizing display of constellations and celestial wonders. One evening, as Arya prepared her paints for the night, she noticed a peculiar sight. A lone star, unlike any she had ever seen, flickered in the sky, struggling to shine through the dark clouds. This star was not just faint but seemed to be fading away. Determined to help, Arya climbed the hill and started painting around the star, hoping to give it the strength to shine brightly again. As she worked, the star's light grew stronger, but it wasn't enough to restore it fully. That night, as Arya finished her painting, a mysterious figure appeared before her. It was a tall, elegant woman dressed in a gown made of moonlight and stardust. Her eyes sparkled with a knowing glint. "Greetings, Arya," the woman said in a voice that was both gentle and powerful. "I am Lyra, the Queen of the Midnight Kingdom. You have shown great kindness to one of my stars, and for that, I am grateful." Arya was astonished. "The Midnight Kingdom? I've only heard stories. How can I help your star?" Lyra smiled. "The star you helped is a prince in our realm, and he has been in peril. He needs a special kind of magic to restore his brilliance. Only someone with a heart full of compassion can retrieve it. I believe that person is you." Lyra waved her hand, and a shimmering path of stardust appeared, leading up into the sky. "Follow this path, and you will find the Midnight Kingdom. There, you will find the magic you need." Without hesitation, Arya took a deep breath and stepped onto the stardust path. She soared through the sky, surrounded by twinkling stars and the soft hum of celestial music. The path led her to a magnificent realm of glowing palaces and crystal-clear lakes, all bathed in the soft glow of moonlight. In the heart of the Midnight Kingdom stood a grand palace with spires that reached for the heavens. Inside, Arya was greeted by Lyra and the celestial court. At the center of the palace was the ailing Star Prince, his light weak and flickering. Lyra explained, "The magic to heal him lies within the radiant flower, which blooms only under the light of the first dawn after a full moon. It grows in the enchanted grove, guarded by the Nightshade Guardian. You must retrieve it before the moon wanes." Arya set out on her quest, guided by the soft glow of the moon. The enchanted grove was a place of wonder, with trees that whispered secrets and flowers that sang lullabies. At its heart stood the radiant flower, glowing with an inner light. But guarding it was the Nightshade Guardian, a majestic creature with wings that sparkled like the night sky. With courage and respect, Arya approached the Guardian. "I seek the radiant flower to save the Star Prince. I promise to return it once my task is done." The Nightshade Guardian looked at Arya with wise eyes and saw the sincerity in her heart. "Your kindness and bravery are clear. The flower is yours to take." Arya carefully picked the flower, and with it, she returned to the Midnight Kingdom. The radiant flower's light was pure and strong, and as Arya placed it near the Star Prince, its magic began to weave through his fading light. Slowly but surely, the Star Prince's brilliance was restored. The kingdom rejoiced as the Star Prince regained his full splendor. Lyra and the Celestial Court celebrated Arya's bravery and kindness. You have saved our prince and brought back the light to our realm, Lyra said. As a token of our gratitude, we grant you a special gift. Lyra touched Aria's forehead, and in that moment, a constellation in the shape of a paintbrush appeared in the sky. Whenever you wish to paint the night sky, simply look at this constellation, and it will guide your hand with the magic of the Midnight Kingdom. With a heart full of joy and new knowledge, Aria returned to her village. From that night on, her paintings of the night sky were more beautiful than ever, guided by the magic of the Midnight Kingdom. The village continued to marvel at the wondrous skies, and Aria became known not only as a gifted artist but as a heroine who bridged the worlds of stars and dreams. And so, under the magical guidance of the Midnight Kingdom, Aria painted the nights with wonder and hope, ensuring that every star shone bright and every dream reached the sky. Once upon a time, nestled between rolling hills and the sparkling river, there lay a quaint village named Eldergrove. Eldergrove was renowned for its enchanting forests, lush meadows, and most importantly, the Whispering Willow, an ancient tree said to hold the wisdom of ages. Its silver leaves shimmered in the moonlight, and the villagers believed it could grant one wish every century to those pure of heart. The Whispering Willow stood at the edge of the village, its gnarled branches reaching out like welcoming arms. Its roots were deeply entwined with the land, and its presence brought comfort and serenity to all who came near. One spring, a terrible drought struck Eldergrove. The river's flow diminished, crops failed, and the once vibrant meadows turned brown. The villagers, desperate to save their beloved home, turned to the Whispering Willow, hoping it would grant them a wish to restore their land. But when they arrived at the tree, they found that it was weak and wilted. Its leaves were turning gray, and its once melodious whispers had become faint. The ancient magic of the Whispering Willow was fading, and without its strength, Eldergrove's fate seemed grim. Among the villagers was a young girl named Eliana. Eliana was known for her kindness and her love for nature. She had often spent time sitting under the Whispering Willow, listening to its stories and feeling its soothing presence. Determined to save both the tree and her village, Eliana decided to embark on a quest to find out what had caused the tree's decline and how to restore its magic. Her journey began at dawn. Eliana ventured into the heart of the forest, where she sought the advice of the creatures that lived there. She spoke with a wise old owl named Orin, who told her of an ancient prophecy: when the Whispering Willow fades, a heart of pure intent must seek the hidden crystal of light to restore its magic. Orin explained that the crystal was hidden deep within the Cavern of Echoes, a mystical cave located at the mountain's base. The cavern was said to be protected by magical enchantments and guarded by a fierce, yet misunderstood creature named Raxer. With a map given by Orin and her own unyielding courage, Eliana set out for the cavern. As she approached the mountain, she encountered a dense fog that obscured her path. The fog was a magical barrier meant to test her resolve. Remembering the stories she'd heard from the Whispering Willow, Eliana whispered her wish for her village's prosperity in the tree's revival, allowing her heart's purity to guide her through the fog. Upon reaching the Cavern of Echoes, Eliana stood before a massive stone door engraved with intricate runes. To open it, she had to solve a riddle that resonated through the cave: I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I? Eliana thought deeply. Her mind wandered through the myriad of possibilities until she came to the answer: a joke. The door creaked open, revealing a shimmering pathway leading deeper into the cavern. As she ventured further, Eliana reached a grand chamber where Raxer, a large, dragon-like creature with shimmering scales and gentle eyes, awaited her. Raxer's growls echoed through the cavern, and Eliana felt a moment of fear. But she remembered the stories of old, which spoke of Raxer's true nature, a guardian bound by duty but longing for understanding. With a brave heart, Eliana approached Raxer, speaking calmly and respectfully. I seek the crystal of light to save the Whispering Willow and my village. I do not wish to harm or disturb you, but to restore the balance and save what is precious to me. Raxer's eyes softened, and the growls ceased. The creature, touched by Eliana's sincere words, revealed the hidden crystal of light, nestled in a glowing alcove. It was a magnificent gem that radiated warmth and purity. You have proven your worthiness, Raxer said. The crystal is yours. Use it wisely. Eliana thanked Raxer and carefully carried the crystal back to Eldergrove. As she approached the Whispering Willow, she held the crystal aloft, and its light began to illuminate the tree. The once fading leaves of the Whispering Willow sparkled with renewed vigor, and the magic of the tree surged back into life. The river began to flow once more, the crops revived, and the meadows turned green and lush. The villagers rejoiced as their home was restored to its former glory, and they celebrated Eliana's bravery and dedication. The Whispering Willow, now vibrant and full of life, resumed its gentle whispers, sharing tales of hope and wisdom. Eliana's quest became a cherished story in Eldergrove, a reminder of the power of a pure heart and the importance of courage and compassion. And so, Eldergrove thrived under the renewed magic of the Whispering Willow, forever illuminated by the light of the crystal and the legacy of a young girl who saved her village with bravery and kindness. Once upon a time, in the charming town of Timewell, there lived a talented clockmaker named Alistair. Timewell was renowned for its magnificent clocks, each one crafted with intricate designs and remarkable precision. The town's greatest treasure was Alistair's workshop, where clocks of all sizes and styles ticked in perfect harmony. Alistair was a kind and gentle man with a deep love for his craft. He had inherited his clockmaking skills from his grandfather, who had once been the royal clockmaker. The shop was filled with clocks that chimed melodious tunes and danced gracefully with each passing hour. But what made Alistair's clocks truly special was the secret magic they held, an enchantment passed down through generations. One day, as Alistair worked on a particularly ornate grandfather clock, a mysterious stranger entered his shop. The stranger was cloaked in dark robes and wore a silver mask that concealed his face. "Good day," said the stranger in a deep, melodious voice. "I have heard of your remarkable skill, and I come with a request. I seek a clock that can not only measure time but also hold a wish." Intrigued, Alistair agreed to take on the challenge. The stranger handed him an old, tattered scroll with cryptic symbols and a faded map. "This is the map to the Celestial Cavern," the stranger explained. "Within it lies a special crystal that will give the clock the power to grant a single wish. But the cavern is guarded by ancient enchantments, and only someone with a pure heart can retrieve the crystal." Alistair accepted the task, knowing it would be a journey filled with challenges. The next morning, he set out with the map in a small, sturdy satchel. His heart was filled with determination and a sense of wonder. The path to the Celestial Cavern was treacherous and winding. Alistair climbed steep hills and crossed sparkling streams, guided by the map's directions and the light of the full moon. After several days of travel, he finally arrived at the entrance of the cavern, concealed behind a curtain of cascading ivy. As he entered the cavern, Alistair was greeted by a breathtaking sight. The walls shimmered with countless colors, reflecting the light from glowing crystals embedded in the rock. At the cavern's heart was a large, majestic crystal, suspended in midair and radiating a soft, golden light. But the path to the crystal was not easy. The cavern was filled with magical obstacles, shifting walls, puzzling riddles, and illusions that tried to lead him astray. With each challenge, Alistair relied on his ingenuity and his kind heart. He listened carefully to the echoes of the cavern, solved the riddles with patience, and approached each obstacle with a calm and steady mind. Finally, Alistair reached the crystal. As he extended his hand to retrieve it, a warm, soothing voice filled the cavern. "Only those who seek with a pure heart and selfless intention may claim the crystal. What is your wish, dear traveler?" Alistair thought for a moment. He remembered the stranger's request and realized that his true wish was not for himself, but for the well-being of others. "I wish for the clock I am to create to bring joy and happiness to everyone who sees it, to remind them of the beauty in every moment." The voice resonated through the cavern, and the crystal glowed brighter. "Your wish is noble and selfless. The crystal will grant your request." With the crystal safely in his possession, Alistair made his way back to Timewell. He worked tirelessly, using the crystal's magic to craft the most magnificent clock ever made. The clock was adorned with celestial motifs and enchanted with a melody that brought a sense of peace and joy to all who heard it. When the clock was completed, Alistair presented it to the stranger, who revealed himself to be a royal emissary from a distant kingdom. "This clock will be placed in the heart of the royal palace," the emissary said. "It will serve as a reminder to all who see it of the beauty and magic in every moment of time." The clock was installed in the grand hall of the palace, where it chimed melodious tunes that filled the air with joy. People from far and wide came to see the magnificent timepiece, and its enchantment spread happiness throughout the kingdom. Alistair's name became known across the land, not just for his skill as a clockmaker, but for the magic he had woven into every tick and tock. The story of the enchanted clock and the selfless wish it held was told for generations, inspiring others to seek beauty and kindness in their own lives. And so, Timewell continued to thrive, its people forever reminded of the magic that lies in every moment. Alistair's clocks, filled with the enchantment of the celestial cavern, became symbols of hope and joy, cherished by all who beheld them. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in the peaceful kingdom of Etheria, there lived a young girl named Lyra. Lyra was known for her curiosity and her fascination with the stars. Every night, she would gaze up at the sky, dreaming of adventures among the constellations. One evening, as Lyra was stargazing from her bedroom window, she noticed a new star twinkling brightly. It was different from all the others, shining with a gentle, pulsating light. Her grandmother had told her stories of a magical artifact called the Starry Compass, said to grant the bearer the ability to navigate the stars and uncover hidden wonders. Lyra decided to seek out this compass, hoping it might lead her to an adventure beyond her wildest dreams. The next morning, she packed a small satchel with essentials and set off towards the Whispering Woods, where legend spoke of a hidden entrance to the realm of the stars. The woods were dense and mysterious, with tall trees that seemed to whisper secrets in the wind. As Lyra ventured deeper, she encountered a friendly fox with shimmering fur. "Greetings, young traveler," said the fox. "I've heard you seek the Starry Compass. To find it, you must pass 3 trials that test your heart, your mind, and your spirit." Lyra nodded, ready for the challenge. The fox led her to a grand, ancient oak tree with a door carved into its trunk. The first trial awaited her inside. Trial of the heart. Inside the oak tree was a serene glade with a small pond. At the center of the pond floated a golden lily. The voice of the tree spoke, "To pass this trial, you must take the lily from the water. But beware, it represents the purity of your heart." Lyra carefully reached for the lily, her heart full of determination. As she touched it, the pond shimmered with a warm, golden light, and the lily was safely in her hands. The voice congratulated her for her pure heart and guided her to the next trial. Trial of the mind. The second trial was a labyrinth of sparkling crystal walls. The walls seemed to shift and change, making the path appear endless. At the center of the labyrinth stood a wise old owl perched on a pedestal. "To find your way through this labyrinth, you must solve this riddle," the owl said. "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I?" Lyra pondered the riddle and thought of the sound she heard in the labyrinth. "An echo," she answered confidently. The owl nodded in approval, and the crystal walls parted, revealing the path to the final trial. Trial of the spirit. The final trial led Lyra to a moonlit clearing where a small, ancient temple stood. At the entrance, a shimmering spirit awaited her. The spirit spoke, "To pass this trial, you must show bravery and selflessness. Inside the temple lies a treasure, but you must choose between it and a vision of your greatest wish." Lyra entered the temple and found a magnificent chest filled with jewels and gold. Next to it, a magical mirror showed her the night sky filled with constellations. She saw a vision of herself as a famous explorer, traveling among the stars. After a moment of reflection, Lyra chose to leave the treasure behind. She realized that her true wish was to explore the stars and bring back stories to inspire others, not to seek wealth. The spirit smiled, and the temple's ceiling opened up to reveal a constellation map. The starry compass, glowing softly, descended from the sky and landed gently in Lyra's hands. The spirit's voice echoed, "You have passed all trials with honor. The starry compass is yours to guide you on your journey among the stars." Lyra thanked the spirit and, with the compass in hand, returned to the Whispering Woods. The compass illuminated the path back to her village with a magical glow. Upon her return to Etheria, Lyra became known for her incredible adventures. She used the starry compass to explore the night sky, discovering new constellations and celestial wonders. Her tales of starlit adventures inspired the people of Etheria, and she shared her stories with anyone who wished to listen. The magical compass remained a symbol of bravery, wisdom, and the boundless possibilities of the universe. And every night, as Lyra gazed up at the stars, she knew that her journey had only just begun, with the starry compass guiding her through the mysteries of the cosmos. And so, in the kingdom of Etheria, the stars shone a little brighter, and the dreams of adventure and discovery lived on, carried by the heart of a young girl who dared to reach for the stars. In the light of the starry compass, the kingdom learned that the true adventure lies in following one's dreams with courage, wisdom, and a heart full of wonder. Once upon a time, in the quaint kingdom of Eldoria, nestled between verdant hills and crystalline lakes, there was a small village named Bramblewood. The village was renowned for its cheerful inhabitants, lush gardens, and the sparkling river that wound through it. But the villagers held a secret, whispered only in the quietest corners. Beyond the forest lay the Crystal Cavern, a magical place said to house a treasure of great power and mystery. In this village lived a spirited girl named Lyra. Lyra was known for her curiosity and adventurous spirit. She loved exploring the woods and discovering hidden places, but the legend of the Crystal Cavern intrigued her more than anything. It was said that whoever found the cavern and unlocked its secrets would be granted a single, profound wish. One bright morning, Lyra's grandmother fell ill with a strange affliction that no medicine could cure. The village healer tried everything, but nothing seemed to help. Remembering the tales of the Crystal Cavern, Lyra decided she would seek out the cavern, hoping to find a cure for her beloved grandmother. With a heart full of hope and determination, Lyra packed a small bag with essentials: a loaf of bread, a flask of water, a warm cloak, and her grandfather's old compass, which had guided their family for generations. She kissed her grandmother goodbye and set off toward the forest. The forest was enchanting yet mysterious. The trees seemed to whisper secrets, and the path ahead was cloaked in shadows and light. After hours of walking, Lyra found herself at the edge of a hidden glade, where a small, ancient door was set into the base of a massive oak tree. The door was adorned with intricate carvings of mythical creatures and glowing with a soft, inviting light. Lyra pushed the door open and stepped into a narrow passage that descended gently into the earth. The walls of the passage were lined with shimmering crystals that cast a soft, multicolored glow. The deeper she went, the more the passage opened up into a vast underground cavern. At the heart of the cavern was a magnificent pool of water surrounded by towering crystals. The light from the crystals danced on the water's surface, creating a kaleidoscope of colors. On a pedestal in the center of the pool sat a crystal orb that pulsed with a warm, golden light. As Lyra approached the orb, she heard a melodious voice echo through the cavern. To claim the treasure of the Crystal Cavern, you must face the trials of the heart and mind. The first trial came in the form of a shimmering mirage. Lyra found herself in a forest identical to the one she had left, but the path seemed to twist and change with each step. The mirage tested her resolve and patience, but Lyra remained focused on her goal, following her heart's true direction. As she emerged from the mirage, she faced the second trial, a riddle posed by a wise old owl perched atop a crystal branch. The owl's eyes sparkled with ancient knowledge as it spoke. "I have keys but open no locks, I have space but no rooms. You can enter but cannot leave. What am I?" Lyra pondered the riddle. She thought of the various things that could fit the description. "A piano," she answered. The owl hooted with approval, and the path to the final trial was revealed. The final trial was a test of courage and compassion. A gentle mist filled the cavern, and Lyra saw a vision of her grandmother lying in bed, weak and frail. The mist seemed to mirror her feelings of fear and sadness. To pass this trial, Lyra had to confront her deepest fears and doubts about her grandmother's condition. Summoning her courage, Lyra stepped into the mist and spoke aloud her love and hope for her grandmother. She imagined her grandmother healthy and happy, and her heartfelt words filled the cavern with a warm, soothing light. As Lyra completed the trial, the light coalesced into a radiant figure, a guardian spirit of the cavern. The spirit spoke in a gentle, reassuring voice. "You have faced the trials with a pure heart and unwavering love. The crystal orb is yours to claim." Lyra took the orb, feeling its warmth and power. She thanked the guardian spirit and made her way back to the surface, the orb glowing softly in her hands. Upon returning to Bramblewood, Lyra carefully placed the crystal orb next to her grandmother. As the orb's light touched her grandmother, a gentle glow enveloped her, and her strength began to return. Slowly but surely, her grandmother's health improved, and she awoke feeling revitalized and joyful. The village celebrated Lyra's bravery and the miraculous recovery of her grandmother. The tale of Lyra's quest to the Crystal Cavern became a cherished story in Bramblewood, a testament to the power of love, courage, and determination. The Crystal Cavern remained a place of magic and wonder, hidden deep within the forest, waiting for those with pure hearts to seek its secrets. And in the heart of Bramblewood, under the glow of the crystal orb, the village thrived in happiness and harmony, forever grateful for the light of hope that had guided their way. In the heart of a sprawling, emerald forest lay a hidden meadow known only to a few. This meadow was said to be enchanted, its beauty unmatched, with flowers that sang and streams that sparkled like liquid diamonds. The legend spoke of a magical flower at the center of this meadow, called the Luminous Blossom, which had the power to grant one wish to anyone with a pure heart. One spring morning, a young boy named Finn, who lived in a nearby village, overheard a conversation between two wandering merchants about this very flower. Finn was known for his kind heart and adventurous spirit. His village had been suffering from a long drought, and Finn dreamed of finding the luminous blossom to restore life to his village's parched fields. Determined to help his family and friends, Finn decided to embark on a journey to find the enchanted meadow and the magical flower. Armed with a small satchel, a map he had drawn from the merchant's descriptions, and his unwavering courage, Finn set off into the forest. The journey through the forest was challenging. Tall trees loomed overhead, and the path seemed to shift with every step. But Finn's determination never wavered. As he ventured deeper, he came upon a babbling brook with water as clear as crystal. A wise old turtle with a shell covered in moss was resting by the water's edge. "Greetings, young traveler," the turtle said in a slow, deliberate voice. "I know you seek the enchanted meadow. To find it, you must pass 3 tests, the test of courage, the test of wisdom, and the test of compassion." Finn nodded, ready for the challenges ahead. Test of courage. The turtle led Finn to a dark cave with an eerie glow emanating from within. The entrance was guarded by a fierce-looking dragon made of shadows. The dragon roared as Finn approached. To pass this test, the dragon rumbled, "You must face your fears and prove your bravery." Finn took a deep breath and stepped forward. The dragon's shadowy form seemed to grow larger and more menacing, but Finn remembered his village's plight and focused on his goal. With a burst of courage, he approached the dragon and, to his surprise, found that the shadows parted before him. The dragon's roar faded, revealing a hidden passageway. The turtle, watching from afar, congratulated Finn on his bravery and guided him to the next test. Test of wisdom. The second test brought Finn to a glistening meadow where a giant, ancient tree stood with its branches stretching towards the sky. Beneath the tree was a grand door carved with intricate symbols. An owl perched nearby, holding a scroll in its talons. To pass this test, the owl said, "You must solve this riddle. I have cities but no houses, forests but no trees, and rivers but no water. What am I?" Finn thought hard, considering the riddle. He recalled stories and maps he had read. "A map," he answered confidently. The owl nodded, and the grand door creaked open to reveal a hidden path leading deeper into the forest. Test of compassion. The final test took Finn to a clearing where a small, injured deer lay on the ground. The deer's eyes were filled with pain, and it looked at Finn with pleading eyes. Beside the deer was a basket of herbs and bandages. To pass this test, a soft voice said, "You must help this creature and show compassion." Finn carefully approached the deer and used the herbs and bandages to tend to its wounds. As he worked, the deer's pain seemed to ease, and it nuzzled Finn gratefully. Once the deer was cared for, it stood up, its strength restored. The soft voice spoke again, thanking Finn for his kindness. With the final test complete, the turtle led Finn to the enchanted meadow. The sight was more breathtaking than he had ever imagined. The meadow was alive with vibrant colors, and at its center stood the luminous blossom, glowing with a soft, golden light. Finn approached the flower and made his wish for his village. He wished for rain to end the drought and restore the land's fertility. As he spoke his wish, the luminous blossom's light grew brighter, and a gentle rain began to fall over the meadow. The rain carried through the forest, reaching Finn's village and soaking the dry, cracked earth. Returning to his village, Finn was greeted with cheers and tears of joy. The fields soon flourished with lush, green crops, and the villagers celebrated their newfound prosperity. Finn was hailed as a hero, not just for finding the luminous blossom, but for his bravery, wisdom, and compassion. The enchanted meadow remained a hidden treasure, known only to those with pure hearts and a selfless spirit. Finn's tale became a legend, reminding all who heard it that true magic lies in the courage to face one's fears, the wisdom to solve life's puzzles, and the compassion to help those in need. And so, in the heart of the forest and the spirit of the village, the magic of the luminous blossom lived on, a beacon of hope and a testament to the power of a kind and determined heart. In the gentle rain that fell upon the village, the people learned that the most powerful magic of all comes from within and that the greatest adventures often start with a simple act of kindness. Once upon a time, in a tranquil kingdom surrounded by lush forests and sparkling rivers, there was a magical realm known for its beautiful birds. Among them was the rare silver feather, a mythical bird said to possess extraordinary powers and grant one heartfelt wish to anyone who could find it. In a small village at the edge of the kingdom, there lived a young girl named Ilara. Ilara was kind and brave, always helping her neighbors with their troubles. Her family was poor, but they were rich in love and kindness. Ilara's greatest wish was to improve the lives of those around her and bring prosperity to her struggling village. One day, a severe winter hit the kingdom, bringing with it an unusually harsh frost. The crops failed, and the villagers were growing anxious. Remembering the legend of the silver feather, Ilara decided to set out on a quest to find the mythical bird and make a wish that could save her village. The quest begins early one morning. Ilara prepared for her journey. She packed a small bag with essentials, a warm cloak, some bread, and a flask of water. Her mother gave her a silver locket for good luck, a family heirloom that had been passed down through generations. With a hopeful heart, Ilara ventured into the forest, guided by the tales of the silver feather. As she walked deeper into the forest, Ilara came across a wise old tortoise named Thaddeus, who was known for his knowledge of the enchanted woods. Thaddeus was resting on a moss-covered rock, basking in the weak winter sunlight. "Good day, Thaddeus," Ilara greeted him respectfully. "I'm on a quest to find the silver feather. Can you help me?" Thaddeus looked at Ilara with wise, kind eyes. "The silver feather is a difficult treasure to find," he said. "It is said to dwell in the heart of the Whispering Glade. But first, you must overcome 3 trials that test the purity of your heart." The first trial, the frosted lake. Ilara followed Thaddeus's directions to a frozen lake surrounded by tall, snow-covered trees. The ice was thick and treacherous, and Ilara had to cross it to continue her quest. As she stepped onto the ice, it began to crack and groan. In the middle of the lake, she spotted a riddle carved into the ice. "I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Ilara thought carefully and then answered aloud, "Fire." With her answer, the ice beneath her feet stopped cracking, and a narrow path appeared, leading her safely to the other side. The first trial was complete. The second trial, the enchanted grove. Ilara soon arrived at a grove filled with glowing, magical flowers. The grove was beautiful but bewildering. The flowers seemed to hum and dance in the cold wind, creating a maze of shimmering petals. A sign in the center of the grove read, To pass through, you must find the path of light. Follow the song that leads to the heart. Elara listened closely to the harmonious melody of the flowers and followed the softest, most enchanting tune. As she walked, the flowers seemed to part, guiding her through the maze until she reached the center of the grove. There, a small, sparkling key lay on a pedestal. The third trial, the guardian of the Whispering Glade Elara continued her journey and finally reached the Whispering Glade, a serene, mystical place with tall trees that seemed to whisper secrets. In the center of the glade stood a majestic, ancient tree with a face carved into its trunk. The tree was the guardian of the glade. "Welcome, Elara," the guardian spoke in a deep, gentle voice. "You have completed the trials, but now you must show that your wish is truly selfless." Elara approached the guardian and spoke from her heart. "My wish is not for myself but for my village. I want to bring prosperity and warmth to those who are suffering from the harsh winter." The guardian listened intently and then nodded. "Your heart is pure, and your wish is selfless. The silver feather will grant your wish, but remember that true magic lies in the kindness you show others." The silver feather appears as the guardian spoke. A soft, shimmering light filled the glade. The silver feather appeared, its plumage sparkling like moonlight on fresh snow. The bird flew gracefully towards Elara, and she reached out, carefully taking the feather in her hand. The moment she held the silver feather, a warm, golden light enveloped the entire Whispering Glade. Elara felt a rush of joy and relief as the magic of the feather began to spread. Returned to the village, Elara hurried back to her village with the silver feather. When she arrived, she found that the feather's magic had already started to work. The snow began to melt, the crops revived, and a sense of warmth and renewal spread through the village. The villagers were overjoyed and amazed at the transformation. They celebrated Elara's bravery and kindness with a grand feast, and the once struggling village now thrived with abundance. Elara's family was immensely proud of her, and the village honored her as a true hero. The silver feather, having fulfilled its purpose, disappeared back into the magical forest, leaving behind a lasting legacy of hope and generosity. A lasting legacy. Years passed, and the story of Elara and the silver feather became a cherished tale told to children around the village. Elara continued to help others, her actions always guided by the selflessness that had brought the silver feather to her. The kingdom flourished, and the forest remained a place of magic and wonder. Elara's legacy was a reminder that the greatest treasures are found in the kindness and love we give to others. And so, the village lived in prosperity and harmony, and the legend of the silver feather lived on as a beacon of hope for all who heard it. The end. Once upon a time, in a peaceful village surrounded by rolling hills and serene lakes, lived a young girl named Lyra. Lyra was known throughout the village for her kindness and curiosity. She loved to explore the nearby forests and meadows, always hoping to discover something magical. One sunny afternoon, while wandering through the forest, Lyra stumbled upon a hidden grove she had never seen before. In the center of the grove stood an ancient, ornate mirror framed in silver and gold. The mirror's surface was covered in a shimmering mist, and its frame was adorned with intricate carvings of mystical creatures and flowers. Lyra felt a strange pull towards the mirror and, despite her curiosity, hesitated for a moment before reaching out to touch it. As her fingers brushed the surface, the mist swirled and the mirror's reflection changed. Instead of Lyra's familiar face, she saw a glimpse of a grand, forgotten kingdom, bathed in golden light. The image was mesmerizing, a land of towering castles, lush gardens, and sparkling rivers. But the reflection was fleeting, and soon it faded, leaving only the misty surface behind. Determined to uncover the mystery of the mirror, Lyra decided to take it home. She carefully transported it back to her village, hiding it in her small attic. That night, as she lay in bed, she couldn't stop thinking about the mirror and the kingdom it had shown her. She had a feeling that there was something more to the mirror, something waiting to be discovered. The next morning, Lyra went to the village elder, a wise woman named Maelise, to seek her advice. Maelise had lived in the village for many years and knew a great deal about the history and legends of the land. When Lyra described the mirror and the vision she had seen, Melissa's eyes widened in recognition. Ah, the enchanted mirror, Melis said thoughtfully. Legend has it that this mirror was once the gateway to a magical kingdom called Luminera. Luminera was a place of great beauty and wonder, but it vanished from the world long ago, leaving only tales and whispers behind. The mirror was said to hold the key to finding the kingdom and restoring it to its former glory. Lyra's heart raced with excitement. Do you think it's possible to find Luminera? She asked eagerly. Melis nodded. It is said that to reach Luminera, one must undertake a quest to prove their bravery, wisdom, and kindness. The mirror will guide you, but you must be prepared for the challenges ahead. With newfound determination, Lyra set out on her quest. The mirror's surface began to glow softly, guiding her towards the enchanted forest. As she journeyed deeper into the forest, she encountered her first challenge, a wide, treacherous chasm with a narrow, wobbly bridge made of vines and branches. Standing at the edge of the chasm, Lyra felt a surge of fear. But then she remembered Melissa's words and took a deep breath. She carefully stepped onto the bridge, focusing on her balance and studying her nerves. As she moved across, the bridge creaked and swayed. But Lyra's determination and calm heart guided her safely to the other side. Her next challenge came in the form of a dark, winding cave. Inside, she found herself face to face with a mischievous fairy named Trix. Trix was known for her trickery and riddles. To pass through my cave, Trix said with a twinkle in her eye, you must solve my riddle. Lyra listened carefully as Trix recited her riddle. I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I? Lyra thought for a moment, recalling all the stories and puzzles she had heard in her village. The answer is a joke, she said confidently. Trix clapped her tiny hands in delight. You are correct. You may pass through the cave. As Lyra continued her journey, she encountered her final challenge, a vast, enchanted garden filled with vibrant, magical flowers. In the center of the garden was a majestic phoenix, perched atop a pedestal. The phoenix was covered in brilliant red and gold feathers, and its eyes shone with ancient wisdom. To enter the kingdom of Luminera, the phoenix spoke. You must show your kindness by caring for the garden. Only then will the way be revealed. Lyra noticed that the garden was overgrown and some flowers were wilting. Without hesitation, she set to work, tending to each plant with care and love. She watered the flowers, pruned the branches, and nurtured the garden back to its former glory. The phoenix watched in approval, its eyes softening with each act of kindness. When the garden was restored, the phoenix flapped its wings and soared into the sky. A magical door appeared at the far end of the garden, bathed in a warm, golden light. The door creaked open, revealing a breathtaking land of sparkling rivers, lush forests, and magnificent castles. Lyra stepped through the door and found herself in the heart of Luminera. The kingdom was even more beautiful than she had imagined. The people of Luminera, who had been waiting for someone to restore their land, greeted her with joy and gratitude. They told her that the kingdom had faded from the world because its magic had been lost. But now, with Lyra's bravery, wisdom, and kindness, the kingdom was revived and its magic restored. The rulers of Luminera, a wise king and queen, honored Lyra with a golden crown and a place of honor in their court. They invited her to stay and become a part of their world, but Lyra knew her place was back in her village. Before she left, the king and queen gifted Lyra a small, enchanted locket that held a piece of Luminera's magic. The locket would allow her to visit the kingdom whenever she wished and keep its magic alive in her heart. With a heavy heart but a spirit full of joy, Lyra returned to her village. She shared her incredible adventure with everyone, and the village flourished with newfound hope and wonder. The enchanted mirror remained a cherished relic, a reminder of the bravery and kindness that had restored a lost kingdom. Lyra's adventures became legendary, and she continued to explore and discover new wonders, always carrying the magic of Luminera with her. She lived a life full of joy, knowing that even the smallest of hearts could accomplish great things. And so, Lyra and her village lived happily ever after, with the magic of Luminera shining brightly in their lives. The end. Once upon a time, in a kingdom far away, there lived a young princess named Eloan. She was known for her golden hair, which shimmered like sunlight, and her kind heart, which made her beloved by all. The kingdom of Aurelian, where she lived, was a place of peace and prosperity, protected by an ancient magic that resided in the palace, a magic so powerful that it kept the land in eternal harmony. But this magic came with a rule: it could only be unlocked by the heir to the throne on their 18th birthday, using the Golden Key, a mysterious artifact that had been passed down through generations. Without the key, the kingdom would lose its protection, and chaos would follow. On the eve of Princess Eloan's 18th birthday, when the key was to be handed to her, a terrible thing happened. The key disappeared from its resting place in the palace vault, and with it, the protective magic began to fade. The skies darkened, the winds howled, and the once beautiful fields of Aurelian began to wither. The kingdom's most trusted knights and wise men searched everywhere. But the key was nowhere to be found. Fear spread through the land, for without the key, the kingdom would fall into ruin. Eloan, though deeply saddened by the turn of events, decided she could not sit idly by while her people suffered. She was determined to find the golden key, no matter where it had been taken. Her journey began at the palace gates, where an ancient oak tree stood, its branches twisted like old hands reaching for the sky. Eloan had always felt a strange connection to this tree. As a child, she would sit under its shade and listen to the wind rustling through its leaves, almost as if it were speaking to her. Now, with the kingdom in peril, she approached the tree once again. To her surprise, the tree's bark shimmered as she touched it, and a hidden door opened at its base. Inside was a winding staircase that led deep into the earth. Without hesitation, Eloan entered, her heart racing. The staircase led to a cavern, where a figure cloaked in shadows awaited her. The figure was an old woman, with eyes that gleamed like silver and a voice that echoed softly in the cave. "I have been expecting you, Princess Eloan," the woman said, her voice kind but mysterious. "The golden key was stolen by dark forces, but there is a way to retrieve it. You must face 3 trials, each testing your courage, wisdom, and heart. Only then will you find the key and restore your kingdom." Eloan nodded, determined. "I will do whatever it takes." The old woman smiled and waved her hand, summoning a glowing path that stretched deeper into the cavern. "Follow this path, and your first trial will begin." Eloan took a deep breath and stepped onto the glowing path. It led her to a grand stone door, which opened as she approached. Inside was a room filled with mirrors, hundreds of them, each reflecting different versions of herself. Some mirrors showed her as a queen, powerful and wise. Others showed her as a child, innocent and carefree. But among the reflections, she saw something strange, a version of herself that looked frightened, lost, and unsure. Suddenly, the frightened reflection stepped out of the mirror and stood before her. "You can't do this," the reflection whispered. "You're not strong enough. You're just a girl. The kingdom is too much for you to save." Eloan's heart wavered for a moment. The words stung, and the doubts she had buried deep inside started to rise. But then she remembered the faces of her people, their trust in her, their love. She straightened her shoulders and spoke firmly. "I am strong enough. I may be young, but my heart is full of courage. I will not let fear control me." With those words, the frightened reflection faded away, and the room of mirrors disappeared. The first trial was complete. The path led up once again, leading Eloan to her second trial. This time, she found herself in a dark forest. The trees were tall and twisted, their branches blocking out the light. At the heart of the forest was a large wolf, its eyes glowing red, pacing in front of a small, trapped bird that chirped helplessly. The wolf growled as Eloan approached. "This bird has been my prey for days," it snarled. "If you want to save it, you must make a choice. Either free the bird and leave me hungry, or walk away and let me feast." Eloan's heart ached at the sight of the tiny bird, but she also knew the wolf needed to survive. She thought for a moment, then remembered her lessons about the balance of nature. She reached into her pack and pulled out some bread and cheese, offering it to the wolf. "Here, take this instead," she said. "Let the bird go free, and this will satisfy your hunger." The wolf sniffed the food and, after a moment, accepted the offering. It released the bird, which flew into the sky with a joyful song. The wolf gave Eloan a grateful look before disappearing into the forest. The second trial was complete. Eloan continued down the path, now glowing brighter. She knew her final trial was near. It led her to a small clearing where a crystal fountain stood, its water glistening in the moonlight. At the fountain's base was a riddle carved into stone: "What is more precious than gold, yet cannot be bought? What grows the more it is shared, but cannot be held?" Eloan thought carefully. The words echoed in her mind, and then she smiled. The answer was clear. "Love," she whispered. As soon as the word left her lips, the crystal fountain glowed brightly, and from the water rose the golden key. Eloan reached out and took it, feeling its warmth in her hands. She had passed the final trial. With the golden key in hand, Eloan returned to the palace. The moment she inserted the key into the ancient lock, the skies cleared, and the kingdom was restored to its former beauty. The protective magic returned, stronger than ever, and the people rejoiced. Eloan was crowned queen that very day, not because of her royal blood, but because she had proven herself worthy through her courage, wisdom, and love for her people. From that day forward, the kingdom of Aurelian flourished under her reign. And the story of the lost princess and the golden key was told for generations. And so, the kingdom lived happily ever after, thanks to the bravery of one young girl who never gave up, even when the path was dark. Once upon a time, in the heart of a vast kingdom where meadows stretched as far as the eye could see, there was a hidden village named Starbrook. This village was renowned for its beauty, particularly its garden, which was said to bloom only under the light of the full moon. The garden was filled with flowers of every color, their petals glowing softly in the moonlight. In Starbrook lived a kind and curious girl named Ivy. Ivy was known for her love of nature and her fascination with the magical garden. She often wondered about the origin of the garden's enchantment. The villagers spoke in hushed tones about the garden's mysterious past, and Ivy's curiosity only grew stronger. One evening, as the full moon rose high in the sky, casting its silver glow over Starbrook, Ivy decided it was time to uncover the truth. She slipped out of her cozy cottage and made her way to the garden, which was bathed in the soft, ethereal light of the moon. As she wandered through the moonlit flowers, Ivy noticed a path she had never seen before. It was lined with delicate, glowing stones that seemed to lead deeper into the garden. With a sense of wonder, she followed the path until she reached a secluded corner of the garden where an ancient, gnarled tree stood. The tree was unlike any Ivy had seen before. Its branches were twisted into intricate shapes, and its leaves shimmered like silver. At the base of the tree was a small, ornate door, barely noticeable among the roots and undergrowth. Ivy's heart raced with excitement. Could this be the key to the garden's mystery? With a gentle push, Ivy opened the door. It creaked softly and revealed a narrow staircase leading down into the earth. Taking a deep breath, she descended the steps, her footsteps echoing in the quiet darkness. At the bottom, she found herself in a hidden chamber illuminated by the soft, golden light of dozens of glowing lanterns. In the center of the chamber was an elegant table covered with old, dusty books and scrolls. Atop the table lay a magnificent, silver pendant in the shape of a crescent moon. Ivy reached out and touched the pendant, and as she did, a soft voice filled the room. "Welcome, Ivy. I have been expecting you," said the voice, which belonged to a graceful figure emerging from the shadows. It was a beautiful fairy with wings that sparkled like the night sky. "I am Luna, the guardian of the moonlit garden. Long ago, this garden was blessed by the moon goddess to protect a powerful secret. The pendant you see before you is the key to unlocking that secret." Ivy's eyes widened in awe. "What secret does the garden hold?" Luna smiled warmly. "The garden's enchantment was created to protect a magical artifact known as the Heart of the Moon. It has the power to bring harmony and balance to the world. However, the heart has been hidden for centuries to keep it safe from those who might use its power for mischief. Luna handed Ivy the pendant. The heart of the moon is hidden in a place where light and shadow meet. Only one with a pure heart and unwavering courage can find it. With this pendant, you have the power to uncover its location. Ivy accepted the pendant, feeling its warmth and energy. How will I know where to look? The pendant will guide you, Luna explained. It responds to the moonlight and will lead you to the heart. Follow its light, and trust in your heart's guidance. With a grateful nod, Ivy left the chamber and ascended the staircase. The pendant glowed softly around her neck, guiding her through the garden's winding paths. As she walked, she noticed that the pendant's light grew brighter and more focused. Following the pendant's glow, Ivy reached a secluded grove where the moonlight streamed down through the branches in a perfect, silver beam. At the center of the grove stood a large, ancient stone with an inscription. Ivy read the inscription aloud, which revealed a riddle: to find the heart of the moon, you must seek where light and shadow dance in tune. Where the moon's touch is gentle and kind, there the heart's true light you'll find. Ivy looked around and noticed that the moonlight created a shimmering pattern on the ground where the light and shadows intertwined. She carefully stepped onto the illuminated area, and the stone began to shift, revealing a hidden compartment beneath it. Inside the compartment lay a stunning, crystal-clear orb that seemed to pulse with a soft, silver light. Ivy carefully lifted the orb, feeling its gentle warmth. The moment she touched it, the entire garden seemed to come alive with an even more vibrant glow, and the flower's light grew brighter and more vivid. Luna appeared beside her, a look of satisfaction on her face. You have found the heart of the moon. Its magic will bring peace and balance to the world, and its protection will ensure the garden's beauty for generations to come. Ivy returned to the village with the heart of the moon, and the garden's magic was shared with all of Starbrook. The village thrived under the garden's enchantment, and the moonlit blooms became even more radiant and enchanting. The legend of Ivy's bravery and the heart of the moon became a cherished tale in Starbrook, inspiring others to seek out their own adventures with courage and an open heart. And so, under the light of the moon, Starbrook flourished, its beauty and magic lasting for many generations to come. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled high in the mountains, there lived a young princess named Elara. Unlike other princesses, Elara was not content with a life of luxury and grand banquets. She was curious, adventurous, and had a heart full of wonder. Her favorite time of day was dusk when the first stars began to twinkle in the evening sky. She loved to sit by her window, watching as the stars slowly filled the sky, dreaming of what lay beyond the mountains. One evening, as Elara gazed at the stars, she noticed something unusual. One star, larger and brighter than the others, seemed to be flickering in and out of sight. Intrigued, she leaned closer, and to her amazement, she saw a shimmering path of light leading from her window to the star. It was as if the star was calling to her, inviting her to follow. Without hesitation, Elara grabbed her cloak and slipped out of the castle. She followed the starlit path, which wound through the forest, across rivers, and up the steep slopes of the mountains. The path was narrow and treacherous, but Elara's curiosity and determination kept her moving forward. The further she went, the more the path seemed to glow, guiding her through the darkness. After hours of walking, Elara found herself standing at the edge of a vast, glistening lake. The water was so clear that it reflected the stars perfectly, making it seem as if the sky had fallen to earth. In the center of the lake was a small island, and on that island stood a grand tree with silver leaves that sparkled like diamonds. The large, flickering star was perched on one of its branches. Elara knew she had to reach the island, but there was no boat in sight. As she pondered how to cross the lake, a soft voice echoed in her mind, "Believe in the path, and it will guide you." Taking a deep breath, Elara stepped onto the water. To her astonishment, the water supported her weight, and a path of light appeared beneath her feet. She walked carefully across the lake, the starlit path guiding her to the island. As she reached the shore, she felt a sense of calm wash over her, as if she had entered a place of pure magic. The tree on the island was more magnificent up close, its branches stretching high into the sky. Elara approached the tree, and as she did, the star descended from its branch, hovering just above her head. "Princess Elara," the star spoke, its voice soft and melodic, "you have been chosen for a great task. There is a land far beyond these mountains that has fallen into darkness. The people there have lost their way and forgotten the beauty of the night sky. Only a heart as pure as yours can bring back the light." Elara listened intently as the star continued, "I will guide you to this land, but the journey will not be easy. You must find 3 lost stars that have been captured by the shadows. Only by restoring these stars to the sky can you save the land from eternal darkness." Without a moment's hesitation, Elara agreed to the task. The star then transformed into a small, glowing pendant and hung around her neck. "This pendant will light your way and protect you from the shadows," the star said. "Now, follow the path once more." As Elara set out on her journey, the starlit path reappeared, leading her away from the island and into the unknown. She traveled for days, through dense forests, over rocky cliffs, and across barren deserts. Along the way, she encountered creatures of the night, owls, foxes, and even a wise old wolf, all of whom offered their help and guidance. Finally, Elara reached the edge of a dark, desolate land where the sky was covered in thick clouds, blocking out all light. The air was heavy with sorrow, and the ground was cold and barren. This was the land the star had spoken of, a place where hope had been lost. Elara knew the first lost star was near, so she pressed on, her pendant glowing brighter with each step. She followed the light to a deep, shadowy cave. Inside the cave, the walls were lined with sharp rocks, and the air was filled with an eerie silence. At the far end of the cave, Elara saw a faint glimmer of light, the first lost star, trapped in a crystal cage. With determination, Elara approached the cage. As she reached out to touch it, the shadows in the cave came to life, swirling around her and whispering dark thoughts in her ear. But Elara's heart was strong, and she focused on the light of the pendant, which grew brighter and brighter until it drove the shadows away. The crystal cage shattered, and the first star was free. It rose into the air, shining brightly before shooting up into the sky. One by one, the clouds began to part, and the sky grew a little lighter. Elara continued her journey, finding the second star in a twisted forest and the third in the depths of a frozen lake. Each time, the shadows tried to stop her, but each time, her courage and the light of the pendant saw her through. With all 3 stars restored to the sky, the land began to heal. The sky cleared, and the stars shone brightly once more. The people of the land, who had lived in darkness for so long, emerged from their homes, filled with wonder at the sight of the night sky. Elara returned to the starlit lake, where the tree with silver leaves stood waiting for her. The pendant around her neck glowed one last time before transforming back into the star. It rose into the sky, taking its place among the others. "Thank you, Princess Elara," the star's voice echoed from above. "Because of your bravery, the light has returned to this land. You have done a great deed, and the stars will always remember you." Elara smiled, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. The starlit path appeared once more, leading her back home to her kingdom. When she returned, she was greeted as a hero, and the tale of her journey was told far and wide. From that day on, whenever Elara looked at the night sky, she knew that she was never truly alone. The stars were her friends, and they would guide her wherever her heart desired. And so, Princess Elara lived a life full of adventure, always following the starlit path, knowing that it would lead her to new wonders and new dreams. Once upon a time, in a quiet village bordered by dense forests and sparkling streams, lived a kind-hearted girl named Leora. She was known for her love of nature and her boundless curiosity. Every day, Leora wandered through the woods, discovering hidden nooks and marveling at the beauty of the natural world. One crisp autumn morning, while exploring a seldom-traveled path, Leora stumbled upon a small, ornate chest partially buried under a bed of golden leaves. The chest was decorated with intricate silver patterns of vines and flowers. Curious, Leora carefully brushed away the leaves and opened it. Inside was a delicate silver key, which shimmered with a soft, magical light. Attached to the key was a note written in elegant script: "To find the enchanted garden, seek the path that blooms under the moonlight." The key will reveal the entrance to a world of wonders. Excited by the discovery, Leora decided to wait until nightfall to follow the clue. As dusk settled and the full moon rose high in the sky, she made her way to the spot where she had found the chest. The moonlight cast a silvery glow on the forest, making the surroundings appear even more magical. Following the moonlit path, Leora noticed that the forest began to change. The trees sparkled with a faint, otherworldly light, and flowers bloomed in colors she had never seen before. The air was filled with the sweet fragrance of blossoms and the gentle hum of magical creatures. Soon, Leora arrived at an archway made of intertwining branches and flowers, bathed in moonlight. The archway seemed to pulsate with a soft, inviting glow. Leora took out the silver key and approached the archway. As she held the key up to the archway, it began to glow brightly, and a hidden door slowly emerged from within the archway's frame. With a mixture of excitement and trepidation, Leora stepped through the door and found herself in a breathtaking garden. The enchanted garden was a realm of wonder, with trees bearing fruits of gold, flowers that sang melodious tunes, and sparkling streams that flowed with liquid starlight. In the center of the garden stood a magnificent palace made of crystal, reflecting the moonlight in a dazzling array of colors. As Leora wandered through the garden, she was greeted by its inhabitants, fairies with delicate wings, talking animals, and magical creatures of all kinds. They welcomed her with joy and led her to the palace. Inside the palace, she was greeted by a regal figure, a queen with a gown that shimmered like the night sky. The queen introduced herself as Queen Seraphina, the guardian of the enchanted garden. "Welcome, Leora," the queen said with a warm smile. "You have discovered our hidden realm and entered the enchanted garden. To honor your bravery and kindness, we have a special task for you. Our garden is in need of a new guardian of the silver key, someone with a pure heart and a deep love for nature." Leora listened intently as Queen Seraphina continued, "Our garden's magic has been fading because the old guardian's magic has grown weak. To become the new guardian, you must complete 3 trials that test your courage, wisdom, and compassion. Trial 1, the Lost Petal." The first trial led Leora to a beautiful glade where a single, precious petal of the moon blossom had been lost. The moon blossom was a rare flower that bloomed only under the light of the full moon, and its petals were essential for the garden's magic. Leora searched the glade and discovered that the petal had been carried away by a mischievous sprite. With patience and kindness, Leora approached the sprite and offered it a gift from her own collection of forest treasures. The sprite, touched by Leora's generosity, returned the petal and guided her back to the glade. Trial 2, the Enchanted Stream. The second trial brought Leora to the enchanted stream, which had become polluted and murky. The stream's magic was vital for the garden's health, and Leora needed to purify it. Using a special jar given by Queen Seraphina, Leora collected some of the stream's water and began to sing a soothing melody she had learned from the flowers. The water began to sparkle and clear, and the stream flowed with renewed clarity. The creatures of the garden rejoiced, and the stream's magic was restored. Trial 3, the Starlit Puzzle. The final trial led Leora to a grand chamber in the palace, where a starlit puzzle awaited her. The puzzle was a complex arrangement of glowing stones that needed to be placed in the correct order to reveal a hidden message. With careful observation and the guidance of the stars, Leora solved the puzzle. The message revealed the location of a hidden chamber filled with ancient knowledge and magic. As she entered the chamber, she discovered a beautiful, ancient book that contained the secrets of the garden's magic. With all trials completed, Queen Seraphina proclaimed Leora the new guardian of the Silver Key. The queen presented Leora with a magical pendant that would allow her to visit the enchanted garden whenever she wished and share its wonders with others. Leora returned to her village, her heart full of joy and wonder. She shared the story of her adventure and the magic of the enchanted garden with her friends and family. The village was enchanted by her tales, and the beauty of nature was celebrated and cherished more than ever. From that day on, Leora continued to care for the garden and its magic, ensuring that the enchanted garden remained a place of wonder and delight for all who discovered it. And so, the legend of Leora and the Silver Key became a beloved tale, a reminder of the magic that lies hidden in the world and the power of a pure heart and a deep love for nature. Once upon a time, in a village nestled between rolling green hills and the shimmering lake, lived a humble weaver named Elara. Her small cottage was adorned with colorful tapestries and woven rugs, each telling a story through intricate patterns and vibrant threads. Elara was known throughout the village for her skill and kindness, but there was one thing about her that remained a mystery: she never used a pattern, and her creations always seemed to have a magical quality. One chilly autumn evening, as Elara worked by the glow of her hearth, a mysterious visitor arrived at her door. It was an elderly woman with silver hair and a robe that seemed to sparkle with stardust. The woman introduced herself as Lyra, the Dream Weaver, a guardian of dreams and keeper of the stars. "I have come to seek your help, Elara," Lyra said, her eyes twinkling with the light of countless stars. "The fabric of dreams is in disarray. A powerful dream, the Dreamweaver's tapestry, has been stolen, and the balance between dreams and reality is at risk. I believe that only someone with your unique gift can help restore it." Elara was intrigued but also apprehensive. "How can I help? I am just a simple weaver." Lyra smiled warmly. "Your talent is extraordinary, Elara. You see patterns and stories in the threads that others do not. The tapestry holds the dreams of all beings and is woven from threads of hope, love, and joy. Without it, the world of dreams is falling into chaos." Lyra handed Elara a small, silver key. "This key will unlock the portal to the dream realm. Follow the path of stars and find the tapestry. Restore it, and the balance will be restored." Elara took the key and followed Lyra's instructions, venturing into the night under a sky filled with shimmering stars. The key guided her to a hidden grove where a portal of shimmering light awaited. With a deep breath, Elara stepped through the portal and into the dream realm. The dream realm was a land of floating islands and luminous bridges, where dreams took shape in colorful, flowing mists. However, the once vibrant realm was now shadowed and disordered. Elara saw fragments of dreams drifting aimlessly, their colors dull and their patterns jumbled. Guided by the key and Lyra's instructions, Elara journeyed through the dream realm, encountering beings of wonder, whispering moonflowers, curious star sprites, and graceful dream creatures. Each guided her towards the hidden lair of the thief. Eventually, Elara arrived at a darkened cave adorned with twisted vines and a heavy, golden door. With trembling hands, she used the silver key to unlock the door, revealing a chamber filled with shimmering, stolen dream fragments. In the center of the room, atop a pedestal, lay the Dreamweaver's tapestry, now in disarray, with threads tangled and colors faded. As Elara approached the tapestry, she noticed a figure lurking in the shadows, a mischievous dream thief with eyes that gleamed like shards of glass. The thief grinned, "You are too late, Weaver. The tapestry is mine now." Elara stepped forward with resolve. "The tapestry belongs to everyone. It holds the dreams and hopes of all. I will restore it." Using her weaving skills, Elara began to carefully untangle the threads of the tapestry. She worked with great care, drawing upon her innate understanding of patterns and stories. As she wove, the tapestry began to regain its vibrant colors and intricate designs, and the dream realm started to come back to life. The dream thief watched in awe as the tapestry's magic spread, healing the realm and restoring the dreams that had been scattered. Realizing the beauty and importance of the tapestry, the thief's heart softened. He approached Elara and said, "I took the tapestry out of greed and curiosity, but I see now that it holds something far greater. May I help you restore the dreams?" Elara nodded, and together, they finished the restoration. The dream realm was soon filled with renewed light and color, and the balance between dreams and reality was restored. When Elara returned to her village, she was greeted as a hero. The Dreamweaver's tapestry was placed back in its rightful place, and the village once again thrived with peaceful dreams and vibrant nights. The thief, now a reformed dream guardian, visited often, bringing with him tales of the dream realm and assisting Elara in her weaving. Lyra, the Dreamweaver, thanked Elara for her bravery and skill. You have not only restored the tapestry but also brought harmony between dreams and reality. Your gift is truly extraordinary. Elara continued to weave, creating tapestries that inspired and uplifted all who saw them. The tale of her adventure and the restoration of the Dreamweaver's tapestry became a cherished story in Seabreeze, a reminder of the magic that lies in the threads of hope and the power of a kind heart. And so, in the village of Seabreeze, where dreams danced under the starlit sky, Elara's legacy lived on, woven into the fabric of every beautiful tapestry she created. Once upon a time, in a kingdom surrounded by rolling hills and lush forests, there was a small, idyllic village called Fernwood. Fernwood was a peaceful place where the villagers lived in harmony with nature, and the forest that bordered the village was considered enchanted. It was said that deep within the forest lay the heart of the forest, a magical entity that kept the land lush and prosperous. In the village lived a young girl named Eliza, known for her bravery and curiosity. Eliza had always been fascinated by the tales of the heart of the forest and dreamed of exploring the depths of the enchanted woods. Her grandmother often told her stories about a magical lantern that could guide lost souls and reveal hidden secrets. This lantern, known as the Enchanted Lantern, was said to be the key to finding the heart of the forest. One year, a terrible drought struck the kingdom, causing crops to wither and rivers to dry up. The villagers grew desperate, and Eliza decided that she had to find the heart of the forest to restore the land's vitality. With determination in her heart, she set off into the forest, guided by her belief in the stories and the hope of saving her village. As Eliza ventured into the forest, she encountered a series of mystical creatures. The first was a wise old owl perched on a gnarled branch. The owl, named Orin, spoke in a voice like rustling leaves. "Brave traveler, to find the enchanted lantern, you must prove your heart is pure and your spirit strong. The forest will test you, but heed these words: kindness and courage will light your way." Eliza thanked Orin and continued her journey, feeling more determined than ever. The forest grew denser, and soon she came upon a babbling brook. The brook's guardian, a playful water sprite named Lila, danced on the water's surface. To cross the brook, Lila said, "You must solve a riddle. Only then will the way be clear." Lila's riddle was, "I'm not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Eliza thought carefully and answered, "A fire." Lila clapped her hands with delight. "Well done. The path is now open." The brook's waters parted, revealing stepping stones that led Eliza across safely. She pressed on, guided by the whispers of the forest and the hope that she would find the enchanted lantern. As night fell, Eliza reached a moonlit glade filled with beautiful, glowing flowers. In the center of the glade stood an old, twisted tree with a door at its base. This was the forest's heart tree, said to be the guardian of the enchanted lantern. Eliza approached and knocked gently on the door. The door creaked open, revealing a warm, inviting glow from within. An elderly elf named Eldrick greeted her. Eldrick was the keeper of the lantern and the final guardian of the heart of the forest. "I have been expecting you," Eldrick said. "To earn the enchanted lantern, you must complete one final task. Show me that you have the courage to face your fears and the wisdom to use the lantern's magic for the good of others." Eldrick handed Eliza a small, ornate box. "Inside this box is a challenge that will test you. Open it only when you are ready." Eliza opened the box, and inside was a delicate, shimmering crystal that seemed to pulse with its own light. As she held it, the forest around her began to shift and darken. Shadows grew long, and eerie sounds filled the air. Eliza felt a surge of fear but remembered the stories her grandmother had told her about bravery and compassion. With steady hands, Eliza held the crystal high and began to speak softly about her love for her village, her desire to help, and the hope for a better future. The crystal's light grew brighter, pushing back the shadows and illuminating the path ahead. Eldrick watched with a smile of approval. "You have faced your fears and shown your true intentions. The enchanted lantern is yours." Eldrick handed Eliza the enchanted lantern, which glowed with a warm, comforting light. Use its magic wisely to find the heart of the forest. Eliza thanked Eldrick and, holding the lantern, followed its light deeper into the forest. The lantern's glow revealed a hidden path that led to a serene glade at the very heart of the forest. At the center of the glade was a magnificent tree with golden leaves and a crystal-clear spring bubbling at its roots. This was the heart of the forest. Eliza placed the lantern beside the spring, and the heart of the forest responded with a radiant burst of energy. The land began to rejuvenate, rivers flowed, crops flourished, and the kingdom's drought was lifted. With the heart of the forest restored, Eliza returned to Fernwood, where the villagers welcomed her with joy and gratitude. The enchanted lantern was placed in a special place in the village, a symbol of hope and the magic of the forest. Eliza's bravery and kindness were celebrated, and her story became a cherished legend. The kingdom prospered once more, and the forest continued to thrive, guided by the light of the enchanted lantern and the courage of a young girl who saved her home. And so, the tale of Eliza and the enchanted lantern was passed down through generations, a reminder that true courage and compassion can illuminate even the darkest paths. In a land where rolling hills met shimmering lakes, there was a village called Eldoria, known for its serene beauty and starry nights. Eldoria was famous for its enchanting starry lake, a magical place where the reflections of the stars danced on the water's surface. Legends told of a hidden song that played only when the moon was full and the lake's waters were still. In this village lived a young girl named Elara, who loved the starry lake more than anything. Elara was known for her kind heart and adventurous spirit. She often spent her evenings by the lake, dreaming of the day she might hear the fabled song. One evening, as the full moon rose high and the lake sparkled like a sea of stars, Elara noticed something strange. The usually calm waters of the lake began to ripple, and the starry reflections seemed to waver. Elara felt a sense of urgency. She remembered the old tales her grandmother had told her about a song that could only be heard and the moon's light touched the lake at the exact moment. Determined to uncover the mystery, Elara decided to seek out the source of the song. With a lantern in hand and a heart full of determination, she set off toward the heart of the forest that bordered the lake. As she ventured deeper into the forest, Elara encountered a wise old owl perched on a gnarled branch. The owl's feathers shimmered with a silver light, reflecting the moon's glow. "Wise owl, can you help me?" Elara asked. "The starry lake song seems to be lost, and I need to find it before the night ends." The owl, named Orin, looked at her with knowing eyes. "To find the song, you must follow the path of moonlight through the forest and solve 3 trials that guard the heart of the lake." With that, Orin spread his wings and pointed with his beak toward a winding path illuminated by moonlight. Elara thanked him and began her journey along the path. The first trial was a field of enchanted flowers that glowed softly in the moonlight. As Elara walked through the field, she noticed that the flowers were singing a gentle melody. However, the song was incomplete, as if something were missing. A mischievous sprite named Leora appeared among the flowers. "To pass this trial, you must restore harmony to the melody," Leora said. "The flowers need a lullaby to complete their song." Elara remembered a lullaby her mother used to sing to her. With a soft, soothing voice, she began to sing the lullaby. The flowers responded by glowing brighter and singing along, creating a harmonious melody. The path ahead became clearer, and Leora waved goodbye, letting Elara continue. The second trial led Elara to a crystal-clear pond surrounded by whispering reeds. A gentle mist hovered over the water, and a shimmering figure emerged, a graceful water nymph named Seraphina. To continue, Seraphina said, "You must find the missing note of the song hidden in the pond's depths. Only then will the waters guide you." Elara peered into the pond and saw a small, iridescent note resting at the bottom. Without hesitation, she reached into the water and retrieved the note. As she held it up, the mist parted, revealing a bridge made of moonlight that led to the final trial. The third trial took Elara to a grand oak tree with branches that reached towards the sky. The tree's leaves were silver and seemed to hum with a soft, rhythmic pulse. A wise old faun named Thorn appeared, leaning on a gnarled staff. "Here lies the final trial," Thorn said. You must listen to the rhythm of the leaves and match their beats with your own heart. Elara closed her eyes and listened carefully to the tree's rhythm. She focused on her heartbeat, letting its steady pulse guide her. As she matched the rhythm, the tree's leaves began to glow brighter, and the final part of the song became clear. With all 3 trials completed, Elara followed the path to the heart of the lake, where the waters were calm and mirror-like. As she approached, she saw the source of the song, a beautiful, ancient harp resting on a pedestal in the center of the lake. Elara touched the harp gently, and the lake's waters began to ripple in time with the melody. The reflections of the stars danced across the surface, and the full, enchanting song of the starry lake filled the air. The music was as timeless as the stars themselves, a symphony of celestial beauty. Elara felt a deep sense of fulfillment and joy. She had restored the lost song and brought harmony back to the starry lake. As she returned to the village, the villagers gathered by the lake, marveling at the magical music that now filled their nights. From that day on, the starry lake's song played every full moon, a reminder of Elara's bravery and the timeless magic of their world. The village of Eldoria thrived under the starry sky, with the lake song inspiring dreams and spreading joy to all who listened. Once upon a time, in a land where the mountains met the clouds and rivers sparkled like sapphires, there was a forgotten kingdom known as Eldoria. Eldoria was a magical realm, vibrant with enchantments and wonders, but it had been hidden away from the world for many centuries, obscured by a veil of magic. The only hint of its existence was an old legend about a glowing lantern that held the key to finding the lost kingdom. In a nearby village named Willowbrook, there lived a brave and curious girl named Mira. Mira had always been fascinated by stories of Eldoria. Her grandmother had told her tales of its beauty and magic, but the kingdom had faded into obscurity as the years went by. One stormy night, while Mira was rummaging through her attic, she found an old, dusty lantern that seemed to hum with a soft, mysterious light. The lantern was adorned with intricate patterns of moons and stars. Her heart raced as she remembered the legend. Could this be the lantern from the tales? Driven by curiosity and a sense of adventure, Mira decided to uncover the truth. With the lantern in hand, she set off towards the mountains, hoping to discover the lost kingdom. As she climbed the misty peaks, the storm grew fiercer. The wind howled and rain poured, but Mira pressed on, her determination unwavering. Eventually, she reached a secluded cave that seemed to glow from within. With a deep breath, Mira entered the cave, and the lantern's light grew brighter, illuminating ancient runes etched into the walls. In the center of the cave stood an old, weathered door with a keyhole shaped like a star. Mira placed the lantern before the door, and its light shone brightly, casting enchanting patterns on the door. The runes began to glow, and the keyhole started to sparkle. With a sense of anticipation, Mira reached for the lantern's handle and turned it. The door creaked open, revealing a breathtaking sight. Beyond the door lay Eldoria, as splendid and magical as the legends had described. The kingdom was a land of floating islands, shimmering waterfalls, and lush, enchanted gardens. Crystal towers glistened in the sunlight, and gentle creatures of every color roamed freely. Mira stepped into the kingdom, her heart filled with awe. As she explored, she discovered a grand palace at the heart of Eldoria. The palace was adorned with jewels and golden mosaics that depicted scenes of the kingdom's past. Mira wandered through its halls until she encountered a figure of regal bearing, a wise and graceful queen who appeared to be made of stardust and moonlight. The queen introduced herself as Queen Lyra, the last of Eldoria's royal line. Her eyes held a mix of sadness and hope. For centuries, our kingdom has been hidden away, and our magic has faded. Only the lantern of the lost kingdom could bring someone worthy to our realm. You, Mira, have proven your heart's purity and bravery. Mira felt a surge of emotion. I've always dreamed of finding Eldoria and helping it return to the world. What can I do to help? Queen Lyra smiled warmly. To restore our kingdom's magic, you must perform 3 tasks that will help rekindle the heart of Eldoria. Task 1, the Heart of the Forest. The first task led Mira to a magical forest where the trees had turned to stone due to a curse. she discovered that the curse could only be broken by restoring the ancient Heartstone, a mystical gem that radiated life and magic. Mira ventured deep into the forest and found the Heartstone, hidden in a glimmering grotto. Using the lantern's light, she cleansed the gem, and the forest began to awaken, the trees returning to their vibrant, living forms. Task 2: The River of Dreams. The second task took Mira to the River of Dreams, where the waters had turned murky and lifeless. The river's magic had been drained by a dark spell. Mira discovered that she needed to rekindle the river's spirit by releasing a sacred water sprite trapped in an enchanted cage. With the lantern's guiding light, she freed the sprite, and the river's waters sparkled with renewed vitality. Task 3: The Celestial Gate. The final task required Mira to journey to the Celestial Gate, a magical portal that connected Eldoria to the stars. The gate had been sealed by a powerful enchantment. Mira had to solve a celestial riddle inscribed on the gate, which involved aligning the lantern's light with the constellations above. As she solved the riddle, the gate opened, and a cascade of stardust flowed into the kingdom, restoring its magic and beauty. With all tasks completed, Eldoria's magic was fully restored. Queen Lyra thanked Mira for her bravery and selflessness. "You have brought new life to our kingdom and reminded us of the power of hope and courage. Eldoria is forever in your debt." Mira returned to Willowbrook, her heart full of joy and wonder. The lantern had served its purpose, but its light continued to guide her. The legend of Eldoria lived on, inspiring future generations with the tale of the girl who discovered a hidden kingdom and restored its magic. And so, Mira's story became a cherished legend in Willowbrook. A reminder that even in the darkest times, courage and kindness can bring light to the most magical places. Once upon a time, in the kingdom of Astraloria, where the night sky was always filled with glittering stars, there was a beloved princess named Lila. Princess Lila was known for her kindness and curiosity. Every evening, she would gaze out of her tower window, marveling at the endless constellations and dreaming of adventures in the starry sky. One fateful night, as Princess Lila watched the stars twinkle brightly, a strange and dark shadow crossed the sky. The stars began to flicker and dim, and before long, the entire kingdom was shrouded in darkness. The people of Astraloria were filled with despair as their beloved night sky lost its magic. Queen Alara, Lila's wise mother, was deeply concerned. She summoned the kingdom's most learned scholars and magical experts, but none could explain the sudden loss of stars or how to restore them. Princess Lila, determined to bring back the light, decided to take matters into her own hands. She set off on a quest to uncover the mystery behind the vanishing stars. Accompanied by her loyal talking cat, Luna, who had a knack for solving riddles, Lila embarked on a journey to the farthest reaches of the kingdom. The Enchanted Forest. Their first stop was the Enchanted Forest, known for its ancient trees and magical creatures. Here, they hoped to find clues about the stolen stars. Deep within the forest, they encountered a wise old owl named Orin, who was known to possess ancient knowledge. Orin, perched high in a great oak tree, listened intently as Lila explained their plight. He ruffled his feathers and said, "To find the stars, you must seek the Oracle of the Moon. She resides in the hidden glade, a place that appears only when the moon is full and bright." With Orin's guidance, Lila and Luna followed the path to the hidden glade, which revealed itself under the light of the full moon. The glade was a serene, moonlit meadow filled with shimmering flowers and a crystal-clear pond. The Oracle of the Moon. In the center of the glade stood the Oracle of the Moon, an elegant figure with a gown that seemed to be woven from moonlight. She greeted Lila and Luna warmly. "Welcome, brave ones," the Oracle said in a soothing voice. "I know why you've come. The stars have been stolen by a sorcerer named Malakar, who seeks to harness their power for his own dark purposes. He hides in the Shadow Realm, a place that can only be reached through the Mirror of Twilight." The Oracle then gifted Lila with a moonstone pendant and a map to find the Mirror of Twilight. "This pendant will guide you," she said. "And remember, only those who approach the mirror with pure intentions can pass through." The Shadow Realm. Following the map, Lila and Luna journeyed to the Shadow Realm, a dark and eerie place where the shadows seemed to have a life of their own. they found the Mirror of Twilight, a magnificent, ornate mirror with a surface that rippled like liquid silver. As Lila approached the mirror, the moonstone pendant began to glow warmly, revealing a hidden doorway. Beyond the doorway was a dark castle where Malachar resided. Inside the castle, they found Malachar in a grand hall, surrounded by the captured stars, which were imprisoned in enchanted glass spheres. Malachar, surprised by their arrival, sneered, "You dare challenge me? These stars are mine to command." The confrontation, Lila, undeterred, stepped forward and said, "We won't let you use the stars for your own gain. They belong to the sky and to the people of Astraloria." A fierce battle ensued. Luna used her agility and cunning to outmaneuver Malachar, while Lila, holding the moonstone pendant, channeled its magic to weaken the sorcerer. Just as Malachar seemed to gain the upper hand, the pendant's light intensified, and the stars began to shine through the enchanted spheres. Realizing he was losing his power, Malachar tried to flee, but Lila and Luna were quick to stop him. With a final burst of light from the moonstone pendant, the enchanted spheres shattered, releasing the stars back into the night sky. Returned to Astraloria with the stars restored to their rightful place, the night sky of Astraloria sparkled more brilliantly than ever. Lila and Luna returned to the kingdom, where they were greeted with joy and celebration. The people of Astraloria rejoiced at the return of their beloved stars, and Queen Alara honored Lila and Luna for their bravery and determination. As a reward, the Oracle of the Moon bestowed upon Lila a special gift, a star-shaped locket that would always keep the light of the stars close to her heart. The locket would also serve as a reminder that even in the darkest times, there is always hope and light to be found. Princess Lila continued to watch the stars from her tower, grateful for the adventure that taught her the importance of courage, friendship, and the beauty of the night sky. And so, under the shimmering stars, the kingdom of Astraloria thrived once more, its nights filled with wonder and magic. The end. Once upon a time, in a village nestled at the edge of a dense, mystical forest, there lived a young girl named Lyra. Lyra had always been enchanted by the forest, with its towering trees and whispering leaves. The villagers, however, spoke of the forest with a mixture of awe and trepidation, for it was said that the forest had a magical quality that could only be understood by those with pure hearts. One bright spring morning, while playing near the forest edge, Lyra found an old, ornate key half buried in the ground. The key was intricately designed, with delicate carvings of stars and vines. Attached to it was a small, faded note: "To unlock the secret of the Forest of Echoes, find the hidden song that lies within its heart. Only then shall you discover the magic it holds." Lyra's curiosity was piqued. Determined to uncover the mystery, she decided to venture into the forest that very evening. As dusk approached and the first stars began to twinkle, Lyra entered the forest with a sense of wonder and excitement. The first challenge: the Whispering Willows. As Lyra walked deeper into the forest, she came across a grove of willow trees whose branches seemed to whisper softly. The whispers formed words and phrases, but Lyra couldn't quite make them out. A soft, ethereal voice spoke from the shadows: "To pass through the whispering willows, you must listen carefully to the melodies of the trees and repeat their song." Lyra closed her eyes and tuned her ears to the gentle rustling of the willow leaves. Slowly, she began to discern a melody hidden within the whispers. The song was delicate and soothing, with a rhythm that seemed to match the heartbeat of the forest. Lyra hummed the melody softly, and as she did, the willows parted to reveal a hidden path leading further into the forest. The second challenge: the Glowing Glade. Following the path, Lyra arrived at a glade bathed in moonlight. The clearing was filled with luminous flowers that glowed with a soft, otherworldly light. In the center of the glade stood a large, ancient tree with a hollow trunk. Beside the tree was a small, magical creature resembling a cross between a rabbit and a firefly. The creature spoke: "To find the heart of the forest, you must solve the riddle of the glowing flowers. Each flower holds a piece of the secret song." The flowers began to emit a soft, musical chime, and Lyra noticed that each chime was slightly different. The creature presented her with a riddle: "I am light and I am bright, I can dance but never fly." When you seek me in the night, you'll find the answer in the sky." Lyra pondered the riddle and realized the answer was a star. As she spoke the answer aloud, the glowing flowers rearranged themselves into a pattern that revealed a hidden compartment in the tree's hollow trunk. Inside was a small, intricately designed music box. The third challenge, the Echoing Cavern. With the music box in hand, Lyra followed the path until she reached an echoing cavern. The cavern was filled with shimmering crystals that reflected the moonlight, creating an array of dazzling colors. As Lyra entered the cavern, she heard a hauntingly beautiful melody echoing through the chambers. The melody seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. In the center of the cavern was a large, ancient door adorned with symbols and intricate carvings. To unlock the door, Lyra needed to play the melody from the music box. She carefully opened the box and began to play the tune. The cavern filled with the soft, melodic notes, and the echoes harmonized with the music. As the final note played, the door began to glow and slowly creaked open, revealing a hidden chamber. Inside the chamber was a small, enchanted grove with a crystal-clear pond at its center. Floating above the pond was a radiant, glowing orb. The orb was the source of the forest's magic, and it pulsed gently with a warm, inviting light. As Lyra approached the orb, it spoke in a melodious voice, "You have shown bravery, wisdom, and a true heart. The forest's secret song is now yours to understand. With this knowledge, you will carry the magic of the Forest of Echoes with you." The orb dissolved into a cascade of sparkling lights, and the forest seemed to come alive with a vibrant energy. Lyra felt a deep connection to the forest and its magic. She understood that the true secret was not just in finding the heart of the forest, but in embracing its spirit and carrying its magic with her. Returning to her village, Lyra shared her adventure in the magic of the Forest of Echoes with the villagers. They were amazed and inspired by her bravery and the beauty of the forest song. The village celebrated with a grand festival under the stars, honoring the magic of the forest and Lyra's discovery. From that day on, the villagers had a deeper appreciation for the Forest of Echoes. They respected its magic and cherished its secrets. And Lyra, with her newfound understanding, continued to explore the world with a heart full of wonder and a song in her soul. And so, the tale of Lyra and the Forest of Echoes became a beloved story in the village. A reminder of the magic that lies within the heart of nature and the melodies that connect us all.